And they went to him and they said, you're going to lose. You saw that, where they said, you're going to lose. You can't win anymore. You're going to lose. And they went to him and they said, we want you out, and we can do it the nice way or the hard way. And we can use the 25th Amendment. We can use the 24th Amendment. We can use all sorts of amendments and get you the hell out.
So yesterday, Donald Trump sat down for an interview with Dr. Phil, which we can check off as yet another interview that Trump has done and Kamala hasn't, right? Kamala still, at this point, yet to do a single TV interview, although it was announced today she's finally going to be doing one whole interview as a candidate. So round of applause there, except it's not exactly what you would think, because it's not even going to be a one-on-one interview. Apparently, she's going to be having her VP hold her hand during it. Take a listen.
Is the line now going to be, well, why isn't she doing it by herself?
Yeah, I do think people are going to bring that up. Like, I have great confidence in Dana and CNN to do this. I think it's incredibly weak sauce to show up with your running mate. The fact that they don't have enough confidence in her to let her sit herself, the actual top of the ticket, and do a single interview. In fact, I think the hand-wringing and the gyrations over this over the last month show a troubling lack of confidence in her political ability, which also makes you wonder as a voter, well, what kind of president would you be if this kind of a small-time decision, can we do an interview or not, what does that look like for your decision-making process, so on? So, yes, I think Republicans are going to think it's pretty weak to show up with effectively someone to take up half the time.
Folks, if you enjoy the content, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you are new. But that's right, Kamala's finally doing an interview, except it's not even one-on-one, right? Tim Walz is going to be sitting there holding her hand through it. And look, before people say it, there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing an interview with your VP, right? That's a pretty standard process, except the difference is she still has not done a single one-on-one interview, and the only time she'll sit down with the press is when she can have her VP talk for her and bail her out. It's incredibly ridiculous. But that said, let's get into this Dr. Phil interview with Trump. This is something that Trump pointed out, which is despite all of the hype for a lot of her history, Kamala Harris was seen as a weak political figure, and I think internally many of her advisors still believe that to be true. That's why they're so scared to put her in front of the camera, and this is something that Trump brings up. Take a listen.
I think she'd be worse than Biden. Biden was the worst president in the history of our country. She's gone down as the worst vice president. I mean, she was known 5 weeks ago. She was known as a joke. She was known as a terrible vice president. Laughed at, scoffed at. They wanted him out, but they didn't want her. They would have done anything to get anybody on the list. You know, they had a list of 10 people.
Folks, before we continue this video, we got to talk about your finances, because we live in unstable economic times, and for many Americans, it is starting to look like 2008 all over again. Many economists are forecasting there may be a recession in the coming year, and that's why it's never been a better time to protect your savings and retirement with gold and silver, and our friends today over at Goldco can help you do that. Goldco makes it easy to roll over your 401k or IRA into a gold or silver IRA, which can help serve as a hedge against inflation and dollar devaluation. And we know gold and silver have been effective at that for all of human history. So if you're interested, learn to find out more at vincegold.com. Again, that is vincegold.com. Get your free information and protect your savings, retirement, and future at vincegold.com.
And they put her on the list, and she came in 11th. She was the last on the list, actually, in terms of professionalism, in terms of everything else. Then all of a sudden they realized that's not going to be politically acceptable. They didn't want to do it. They didn't have the guts to make that move. And they ended up with her. And then the fake news media, of course, got right behind her. And at this moment, she can do no wrong. But if you follow politics and if you see what she said, she'll destroy this country with her.
But that's exactly the thing, is that internally, this is something that Kamala Harris's team is actually aware of, right? They know she's weak on camera, but they also know that the moment any interviewer, which they could hypothetically do, I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of interviews out there that would carry water for her, but if one journalist wants to be kind of fair and ask her, hey, what about all the things you said in 2020? That's it. She's not going to have an answer to it, and her entire campaign, arguably, from one moment like that, can completely fall apart, and that's their concern. So it's true.
Tax increases and everything else.
You don't have anything against her personally.
No.
You're just talking about her values and her belief. You don't know her.
No, I don't. I don't know her. I don't know her.
But these are things that she said then, but is she saying different things now about fracking and that sort of thing? Because the things you're saying she said, I've heard her say those things in the past, but is she saying different things now?
Well, a lot of things, I would say 95, maybe almost 100% is totally different. She's like my policy. She's like energy and this. You know, we were energy independent 4 years ago. Today, it's a whole different story. But everything's changed. She's gone from no fracking under any circumstances. We're not talking a long time ago. We're talking.
Right, but again, that's exactly why they're so scared to put Kamala Harris in front of the camera, which is that the moment you call her out on her insane flip-flopping, and it's not like she's evolved a little bit, maybe she's taking a little bit more of a centrist stance on issues. No, on every major thing, she is the polar exact opposite of what she was in 2020. So you can't exactly explain that away. And if she wants to say, oh, I went through a big ideological transformation, I'm a moderate now, guys. First of all, nobody's going to believe that. But then she would also have to admit to the progressives that she's not their icon, so she doesn't want to do that. She wants to just run away, dodge any questions, just hope that this image of her being a Democrat that's different from Biden and she feels all the DEI points can hand her the election. Let's hope that is not true, but we certainly do understand why she's so scared to go on camera. By the way, Dr. Phil mentioned after this that he also reached out to Kamala Harris for an interview, and newsflash here, is anybody surprised by this? She declined the interview with Dr. Phil. That's right. That said, I do think it shines a light on just how dirty the strategies are of the Democrat Party. You know, let's try to run a candidate and pretend like they never had a past, like they were just born yesterday. They literally fell out of the coconut tree yesterday. They were not the most liberal senator. They did not run the most progressive campaign back in 2020, not even announce any new policies, don't answer any questions from anyone, and just run your way to the election. And that's something Trump also exposed and called out when he talked about the process by which the Democrats replaced Biden, and once again, just how dirty and screwed up their entire party is. Take a listen.
Was there a cover-up about Biden not being competent?
Oh, sure.
And how wide was this cover-up? How wide did this have to be? Was the media involved? We saw people going on television and others say, I meet with him every day. He's sharp. He's a bull. He's doing this. And I think everybody determined, and it's not his fault for aging. That's just part of the problem. It's not his fault for aging. I'm wondering, was there a cover-up? How many people were involved? Was there a conspiracy here? I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but was there a conspiracy? And who was involved in it? And if there was that kind of conspiracy, how do you trust those people going forward?
Yeah, the simple answer is you don't, and there's still a cover-up going on, okay? They just transferred the cover-up from Biden to Harris, because now the cover-up is what? I never ran a 2020 presidential campaign. I was not ranked as the most liberal United States senator back in 2019. I just never did any of this. I never wanted to ban fracking. I never wanted to give out cash to illegal immigrants or abolish private health insurance. What are you talking about? No, that didn't happen. So they transfer the old tactics to the new candidate, but it's still the same people running the show behind the scenes. And you can see the evidence of that in their little dirty tricks.
It was absolutely a conspiracy, but it was really manifested during the debate. We had debate. The debate was the highest rated debate ever. So I think people were really maybe looking to see if there's any truth to that. The ratings on that debate were through the roof. And I think I performed very well, but he didn't perform well. And it was That was the beginning of the end. Then he tried to go on various shows to show his mental acuity, so to speak. And he didn't do very well. And they were all setups. George Slobodanopoulos.
But hey, at least he went on shows, unlike you-know-who.
They were all like setups. In other words, easy questions like, what's your favorite dessert? Do you like vanilla ice cream and stuff? They were easy. And he didn't do great. Got by, but it really started with the debate. And then a poll came out. The Democrats had a poll that showed I was up 17 points after the debate. And they went to him and they said, you're going to lose. You saw that, where they said, you're going to lose. You can't win anymore. You're going to lose. And we want you out. Nancy Pelosi went. I know the whole thing because I know people on the other side. You know, I have some very good friends on the other side. Hard to believe, isn't it? And they went to him and they said, we want you out. And we can do it the nice way or the hard way. And we can use the 25th Amendment. We can use the 24th Amendment. We can use all sorts of amendments and get you the hell out. It was nasty. It was very nasty. And he was very angry. But ultimately he said, he's going to have to leave. And then they gave him his nicer way out, but he was very angry about it.
And by the way, the dirty tricks didn't end there because they did not even democratically pick a candidate. They just anointed her, and now everyone's told, you're supposed to go along with this. Oh, wow, democracy. The Democrats are acting like nothing is wrong. Okay, just another reason why these people are so disingenuous and sneaky and dirty and why you can't trust them. That said, folks, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. Are you looking forward to seeing Kamala Harris actually try to answer questions? I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Be sure to leave a like on this video. Subscribe if you are new. Check out our friends over at vincegold.com. And until next time, God bless and peace.